If your Hope brakes have started to feel a little spongy, then it's probably time to give them a bleed. It's a relatively complex process, so stay tuned and we'll talk you through it. You're going to need DOT 5.1 brake fluid, a small bottle or can and some pipe, an 8mm spanner, hex or Torx keys, a medium flathead screwdriver, paper cloth and degreaser. DOT fluid can be harmful to both you and your bike, so it's important to wear gloves at all times when handling brake fluid, and we'd also recommend eye protection. If you get fluid on your bike or skin, it's vital to clean it at the first possible chance you get. With the bike in a work stand, start by levelling the master cylinder. Release the clamp bolts and rotate the lever. Depending on your handlebar shape, you may also need to loosen the stem faceplate bolts and rotate the bar to get the cylinder fully horizontal. Tighten any bolts you've just loosened, just enough to stop them moving about during the bleed. Using a Torx key, remove the screws from the master cylinder. Remove the top cap and diaphragm and rest them on some paper cloth. Wipe away any dirt from the area around the reservoir. Remove the small rubber cap from the caliper bleed nipple. Fit a ring spanner to the bleed nipple. It doesn't have to be a ring or box spanner, but it's easier if you have one. Feed your bleed pipe into a receptacle such as a can or small bottle, and use a rubber band to attach this to the fork leg. Attach the pipe to the bleed nipple and then fill the master cylinder with brake fluid. We like to use a syringe for this, but a small measuring jug will also get the job done. You're now ready to bleed, but it's important to note the order of actions used when pushing air out of the system. Open the bleed nipple with the spanner. Squeeze the brake lever and hold. Tighten the bleed nipple. Release the lever and pump until you feel the brake bite. Check the level of brake fluid and top up if you need to. Repeat this process until the fluid in the hose flows without any bubbles. Then top up the reservoir again. Open the bleed port and use a screwdriver to carefully push back the pads into the caliper to ensure there's no air trapped behind the pistons. Be careful not to chip them, as it's easy to damage their phenolic construction. Separate the diaphragm from the reservoir cap and clean off any dirt. Return the cap, diaphragm and screws to the lever unit. Release the clamp bolts and tip the lever down. Give the lever a few pumps to make sure there's no air remaining in the reservoir. Return the brake lever to the horizontal position and remove the reservoir cap and diaphragm. Push the pistons back into the caliper with a screwdriver. Once the pistons are pushed back, close the bleed port. Top up the reservoir for a final time. Roll the diaphragm back into place. It's important to do it this way in order to fill the rib with fluid rather than air. When you're sure the diaphragm is in place, return the top cap and tighten the bolts until firm. Don't overdo it. Clean with paper cloth and degreaser to get rid of any remaining brake fluid on the lever. Return the lever and/or handlebars to the riding position and pump to reset the caliper. Remove the container, hose and spanner from the fork. Then return the rubber cap . Finally, check the pistons are properly aligned with the rotor. If not, you may need to service your brakes or realign your caliper. Don't forget to subscribe and check out the rest of the channel. Let us know what you want more of on your BikeRadar.